We're starting now, Ophira Eisenberg.
That's what I like to hear. We're starting it up.
We're starting. I'm still getting used to this studio situation.
It's nice.
It's
man.
nice. They give you free water. It's great.
That's free?
That's free. Drink it.
Oh, yeah. I put a few of those in my bag. Don't you do that at the end of it? Actually, at any gig I've ever done that has a hospitality situation,
Yeah.
I've always been kind of modest about it and then leave. And then I remember finally working with a couple comics that were just like, no, you take everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oranges, apples.
I swear to God.
Everything.
When I go and I travel and
Oranges
I bring
and
my...
apples, by the way, people.
She's rich in citrus. I literally, if I'm driving, I will go, whatever hotel I'm staying at, I take all the toiletries, including the extra roll of toilet paper. And that's what I used for toilet paper for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Hot tip. Do it.
I always take the toiletries. I will even, but I have a really weird thing about, and this might be growing up, both like, not particularly wealthy. And also my parents were World War II. They lived through World War II.
Yeah.
So like the idea of being in a hotel using soap for my hands, which of course I walk into a hotel room. The first thing I do is wash my hands and then continuously, because guess what hotel rooms are? Disgusting. And then leaving that bar of soap, I feel like is so wasteful.
No.
Oh yeah. So I put it in a little plastic bag and I take it home.
Oh my God, that's Depression era shit.
I can't get out of it. I can't. Then I looked the other day at the back of a drawer in my bathroom, and I was like, "It's just a Ziploc bag full of like 2 hand washes used soaps.
Wow,
from around the world.
It's cultured. It's a cultured baggie. That's nice. You never just put them in your bathroom?
Well, you know what I have to say? It takes a long time to move through a bar soap. So it's going to be slow burn to move through those Ziploc bags.
You know what? What if you melted it down and made a candle? You just smell like the Renaissance.
I would like that. I would melt them all down into a mega soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
And then you smell like the Marriott.
I would do
for
that.
the rest
That'd be
of
cool. I mean, you know how they stamp them?
Yeah.
With the hotel name. It would be good if I could see all the stamps.
Oh,
of
that'd
all
be
the
fun.
and see like my different Oh,
Like
I remember. The Radisson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love my soap quilt. Oh, no.
Delicious. Smells clean. It really wears down quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I'm happy for you that you do that. The other day, I went to a wedding. I have 10 weddings this year.
Oh,
Thank you
my
so
goodness.
much. I'm very popular.
You got engaged at the right time.
I know.
You're really keeping up with the friends there.
And thank you. It's like, oh, you can't feel bad for me, motherfucker. Look at that. Huh? Try and feel sad. Caitlin's not lonely anymore.
Yeah, I just go to your weddings to see what I'm not going to do at mine.
Exactly. We need a seating chart. Okay. Anyway, it was in Staten Island. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a nice time. I got hammered, but I woke up the next day and I looked in my purse that I brought. And you know how they have those care packages in the bathrooms with like Tide pens and stuff like that?
I do.
I filled it up with Advil, handy wipes, everything. I just filled it up and I was like, oh, Jesus.
That was me.
Oh, that was me.
That was me.
Oh, boy.
You know
Hand sanitizer, everything. I just like, they're just going to throw
hairspray.
it away.
Did you get hairspray? Sometimes they have like product.
Yeah. I did. They had like a Febreze thing and I took that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think they had another wedding. They had a deodorant thing. And I was like, I'm not going to just leave this here. At the end of the night, I took it.
The spray one or
yeah, they had a
roll-on?
mini spray deodorant.
Yeah.
No, oh my God.
I know. No,
Could you imagine if I stole a roll-on? I was like,
I mean, there is a way to sanitize that.
No, there is not.
The whole...
You'd figure it out, though.
You'd have to pop out that ball, I think, and run it through the dishwasher.
And then it would not be there anymore.
Well, you got to pop it back in. I don't know if you can do that. I'm going to try one day.
I didn't know this about you. I didn't know that you were like Gilbert Gottfried type of hoarding.
Yeah, I would think about it.
Yeah.
I have a weird thing about waste. I really do.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You're a good person.
Okay, I don't know if that's good. I think it's weird. Yeah.
Do you recycle?
We recycle. Actually, I would recycle. I will be honest. I feel like New York City recycling is not well done.
Okay.
So you can
let them know, Ophira.
You could do it. Like, of course, you could do paper and plastic and whatever, but it's pretty poor. Like, anytime we put plastic in it, I always say to my husband, like, can we put this in it? Like, whatever will be the wrapping from the top of a container, to-go container. He's like, yeah, you can. And I'm like, no, you can't. So I feel, but you have to be so specific what you put, as far as I know. You have to be so specific what you put in there, and everything else is waste. But everyone just throws everything in it. I do not believe that the city can barely get its shit together to pick up like garbage from the bins. No one is sorting through this stuff.
All right.
Anyways.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll try. I'll be better. I'll do better. I'll try and figure it out. But honestly, I'm a to-go top in the recycling
drink
bin
from a plastic water bottle.
Yeah.
I will just say
it was
now.
free.
It was free. That does supersede everything at times.
Absolutely.
I gotta say. So here, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would you rather, speaking of free or just like thinking of free, would you rather, because I know my answer, have you're paying for it. You're paying for a glass of wine.
Okay.
Would you rather have a large amount of bad wine, like a heavy pour of bad wine, or a too small amount of good wine?
It depends on the week.
Ooh, I like that.
This week, I would say I would want the small amount of good wine. But last week, it was the large amount of bad wine. You know, it just depends. It depends on the week. It depends on.
See, I think I'm very much like, I would prefer to be the person. I like the idea of good wine. I think I have had good wine, and I would love to have more of it.
Yeah.
But if it meant like just a lot, I would be like, well, you can't take it away, can you? You can't take away all that wine, can you? So that's who I am.
I think you're just telling me you're an alcoholic. I think that's what.
When I was accused of perhaps drinking too much by someone recently, the first thing I did was deny it, which I believe is a clear sign.
No, I think I was joking. I know I was joking. I don't think you're an alcoholic.
You don't know me.
Oh, you're right.
No, but I like to drink. I do like to drink.
You like to have I see myself in you. We like to have a cocktail, but we got a handle on it. We're fine.
Yeah, right. No, it's right. Functional.
Yeah, we're very functional.
Yeah, and they're right. There are plenty of times that I don't drink. Actually, because I can't handle it all the time. But I sometimes go on weeks where I think, God, I got to figure out a way to justify having a martini.
Yeah.
And by that, I just mean vodka a lot in a glass. Very cold, a lot of vodka in a glass.
Do you like olives or a twist?
Olives, 3 olives. I mean, I stopped doing this, but I used to, like my favorite drink. I had one recently, actually, where they're like, oh, just don't drink beer or wine here. Just get get liquor. Mm-hmm. So I do like vodka, and I do like good vodka. I'm sorry, Tito's, but I can't drink you.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. It's good for mix.
Yeah.
But it's not good on its own.
Wow.
So I have vodkas I like.
Miss Boxed Wine, but I can't drink Tito's.
I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you.
All right.
Because it's there's a certain way it burns the throat.
Okay.
And so there's a burn I like and a burn I don't like.
Is it the potato?
I love the potato vodkas. You're speaking my language.
Well, isn't Tito's a potato?
No, Tito's is a. Let me think about this. I believe it's a grain.
It's a grain.
Yeah, it's a grain.
Tito's is a grain, not a potato.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to fact check that. I used to read so much copy for them. I feel like I don't want to.
Fonz? Look it up, baby.
Can you tell me?
Yeah.
I used to read copy for them, so I'm sorry I can't remember. But you know the guy who invented Tito?
Who?
You know what his name is?
What?
Tito Beveridge. I'm not even kidding.
His last name is?
His last name is Beveridge. It's not spelled beverage. It's like it's Bev and then the ridge, like a mountain ridge.
Bevridge.
It's beverage. Yes.
So Tito's is made from yellow corn.
Yeah, yellow corn. Thank you. Yeah, it's a corn, and it's a double. There's some metal way they do it that's been around for years. Anyways, I like a potato vodka.
Okay.
And when I go to a bar and I'll be like, "Hey, can I get a vodka?" and they'll say, "Oh, with cranberry," and I go, "No." And they're like, with what? I'm like, nothing. I mean, I like it cold.
Okay, I was going to say, you like warm vodka?
No, I like it cold, so I'll be like, couple cubes. And then every bartender looks at me like, are you, is this your, are you going to kill someone? Like, is this part of is this your last days? Did you lose a job? Or are you going to kill someone?
Are you in the Russian mob? What's happening here? You're just like, my time is gone.
Just like it. And so sometimes to appease them, I'll be like, all right, with a splash of soda.
Don't you change your drink for anybody.
Well, they look at me like they're afraid.
They can suck it. They can suck. You don't have to pay the extra $2 for that soda splash. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just trying to upcharge
They
you.
always stand with the glass, with the vodka, with the gun in hand, just staring at you like, come on, lady.
We all know you're putting cranberry in this shit. We all know it's going to happen. Just make it happen.
Like, I refuse.
Oh, well, Ophira, I'm gonna confess something to you, and
Okay.
it's gonna be really embarrassing for
Oh.
me. Yeah. It has nothing to do with alcohol, but well, no, it does. This
Okay.
whole podcast is about alcohol. I don't know. I was like, just kidding. That's
We're doing a different podcast.
Yeah, this is about serial killers. You brought up Tito's, and it just awoke something in me. I don't know. Okay, I need to focus. But I wanted you on this podcast for a long time.
Aw.
I read your book before I did comedy.
No way.
Yes, I did. I was a fan of yours before I did comedy.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's insane. And so
That's
then I
nice.
met you, and I was like, just be cool,
Aw,
and then you're actually the coolest person in the world, in the whole world, Mister. I don't need a splash of soda.
I don't need a splash.
And the thing is, I was taking a creative writing class, and they gave your one of your pieces as the example for humor writing, the one with the Garfields.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well, okay. Yeah. That's very, very flattering and just odd. I mean, because, well, anyways, we can get into that.
yeah, I would love to ask you about the stories that you wrote about in your book.
Many of them were alcohol infused. I mean, almost all of my stories were alcohol infused.
Mhm.
And not to say that you can't date dry, but how do you do that?
I don't know. Every time I've slept with a boyfriend for the first time, I've always been hammered.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, oh, that sounded like a confession. Oh, no.
no, I mean,
It's a cry for help.
I mean, your podcast, we're preaching to converted, so I'm not going to bother like apologizing for my life.
yeah.
But which as a woman I'm used to. I'm sorry I exist and all of my choices are probably offensive to you. But
I will
yes.
take a splash of cranberry.
Exactly. Whatever you need me to be, teach me to be more like her. But I like drinking. I am a big fan that alcohol is about releasing your inhibitions. I'm a pretty anxious, kind of uptight, put a soap in a plastic bag because I can't handle the anxiety of waste kind of person.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know what? Everybody's on a cocktail of antidepressants.
Okay.
I will say.
Mhm.
I am not. Okay.
Look at that.
That's my choice. So you know what I like to have every once in a while? A straight vodka. Okay.
and bad
All
wine.
right. So some people, if you like take a Xanax and go on a date,
Mhm.
or you smoke a little weed to relax you, and we're all supposed to be like, that's fine because it's
Yeah.
all part of the capitalist plan.
I love that you're making it a manifesto.
Right.
Oh, it's all for Jeff Bezos,
That's
isn't
right.
it? Huh?
Yeah. You think you're an individual? You're part of the machine.
Yeah.
Okay. I am the individual. I am the unique.
Yeah, you're just another cog in the wheel.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so I mean, I love bars. I've
Mhm.
always loved bars. It's also, if you end up working in comedy, it's good to like bars.
Yes.
But I spent all my pre-comedy, like as soon as I figured out that I could go to bars
Mhm.
and hang out at bars, I love it. And I always try to find bars that are, I mean, for lack of a better word, not the nicest bars. Like, not
Yeah.
dive bars. I'm good with the dive bar.
I love a dive bar.
I love a dive
Yeah.
bar, but we used to call them in Canada American bars because, yeah, we were like, if only we could find
Oh.
an American bar.
Oh my God, we're the trash. We're the trash. You guys are like, we need to go find a hole in the wall piece of shit American bar.
Totally. Where it's sort of like sports is on the screen, but no one's necessarily watching. Like that kind of
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. It's just something to fill the void.
Yeah. And why put anything else?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Because, you're
It's
not-
always uncomfortable when you're at a sports bar and then the sporting event ends and then it's just like TBS and you're watching reruns of Friends or something.
Right, exactly. Oh my God. And
Who
it
is
was
this
like,
for?
what?
There's not even subtitles. Like,
no
it's just-
captioning. No captioning. And then when I moved to New York, I even liked bars more because there's so many great bars here.
Mhm.
However, they are expensive. Nonetheless, if I went on a date, I would meet at a bar and I would drink.
Yes.
And honestly, I would drink a lot. And I also kind of liked the fact that I had a good alcohol tolerance. It has shifted over the years.
yeah.
But it just, And I liked with sleeping. If I had any interest, I liked sleeping with the guys quickly.
Yes, me too. Get it out of the way, see if it works.
How else are you going to know? I mean, I've tried once that thing where it's like, let's get to know each other for a couple of weeks and then have sex. And then you have sex, you're like, well, this sucked. What a waste.
Wow, he has 4 testicles. Cool. That would have been nice to know before I met his mother.
Yeah, or just like, I can't work on this level of skills. Like, I don't have the time to like get this up to snuff.
And there is a training process. And if they're nice enough, you're like, you get a month. We will figure this out.
Right,
you get
exactly.
1 month.
Because you seem eager.
Yeah.
You seem eager to
You
learn.
seem like a workhorse, and I appreciate that about you.
Actually, someone last night was telling a story about how at a summer camp, as a young teen, they were given a lesson by the camp counselors on how to give a blowjob. Like a really in-depth, and they said how great it was and that they learned all this stuff and things I don't know. They were like, how to wrap your lips around your teeth so you don't bite. I was like, huh?
What? I'm all teeth. That's all I am.
Yeah, I was like, you'll just get whatever I give.
Yeah, you should be so lucky.
That's right.
You think I'm going to for you?
No.
Get out of here. Pay my rent. We'll talk.
Exactly. When I can like send and go, everything I have is really just because you gave it to me, then I'll work on the teeth thing. Mm-hmm. That is so old school, not
but
who
I can't
am.
believe
But anyways,
camp counselor.
Camp counselor or a series of them gave this, and they talked about the story in this very proactive, like pro everything way. Like it was great because we could laugh about it. I felt really comfortable. I loved learning it, and I was like,
also 6, and it's like Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
But on the other end, I was like, who cares about the blowjob exercises? Okay, or like. I am telling you right now, at every camp around the world and then some, there is no how to go down on a woman symposium, workshop, mini series, lecture.
Yes.
No. Everyone's like, I don't know. Who cares?
Just spit on it and get to work.
Yeah. And that's where all the time and effort should be put. Anyhow.
I mean, it takes twice as long. Come on. We got a plethora of holes. Okay, we have so many to choose from.
Yeah, just get a 1.
Yeah. Ophira with the manifestos right out the gate. This is great. I think Fonzie's learning. Like, okay, all right. If I ever go to camp, I'm going to teach these kids how to eat pussy. I'm going to do it.
I think just a tiny bit of time spent towards it to demystify it would be helpful.
Yes. I mean,
the guys can all laugh about it. I'm not saying it's all guys, but whatever. Let's just play into that stereotype.
Yes.
Let's talk about this as heteronormative. So, okay. So Mr. Garfield. So I was in I was in a mode where, so when I moved to New York, I found something very disconcerting. I met all these women who I felt were just so much better than me in every way. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought they were just purely more attractive, more put together. They just knew how to do things. They dressed well. Mm-hmm. They had jobs that had money.
Yeah. You have a retirement fund? Woo!
Yeah, I just remember like going out with them and feeling I was just like square and bathed in like beige compared, and they were all like sparkly and just so had a great presence, and they just were completely diminished and taken down by the dating scene in New York. And they complained all the time that these guys were players and that they had no need for commitment, and this idea that there was, 8 women for every 1 guy in the heterosexual dating world, and so that they were just a number, and none of these guys really wanted more than to fuck around. And I heard this and I felt so mad about it, and I decided as a manifesto that I would pointedly not be part of it.
Okay.
So my idea was, under no circumstances was I looking for a relationship. Did I care about a second date? I was in it for fun and fun alone. And if I never met their family, that was the goal. Like, I don't want to hear about your life. I don't really know much about you. Like, we're just doing some very surface things here and getting what we can out of it. and then I'm moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Do not call me. I'm not even asking you to call me. Don't even come close or text or whatever. Nothing. I never want to hear from you again.
Okay.
That's the premise.
Hell yeah. Look at you taking back the power for 8 women.
I mean, it wasn't, I will tell you, it's not the easiest because I'm still an emotional human being. And at times you share anything with anyone. You're like, you want to be liked.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, but I was all about, just that was where I was. And it had surprising results. I wouldn't say that like I had all these guys therefore trying to get in contact with me, but it took them by surprise and they did not know what to do with it.
Oh, I bet it made you more attractive to them.
I think in a way it was just and I think they thought it was a trap.
I'm gonna get got by this Ophira lady. Or
like,
dude, I don't know. God.
They're like, oh, this sounds like something I like.
Yeah.
And therefore she's probably trying to plan something.
A week later, I'm pregnant.
Right, exactly. I've moved in.
Yeah.
So
Oh, good for you.
So truly, I've told the story in many different ways, but the truth of it is, this person was a comic, and I was doing a gig, and they do not do comedy anymore.
Okay, thank God. I was like, tell me.
And I never saw them at any club in New York. I met them because I was set up on a road gig in Pennsylvania.
Oh God, God bless Pennsylvania.
God bless Pennsylvania.
And those one-nighters are rough.
Yeah, it was a one-nighter, and let me tell you, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough, and I didn't have the chops to deal with it. So I went up there and ate it. Just ate it. And I think I had like 10 minutes of material, and I think it required of 35 minutes of me,
God.
So it was just like also an abomination of that level. And yeah, it was not a great situation. I wish I could remember the place. It was a bar, didn't really have a stage, but it was supposedly a comedy venue. And then this guy went up and we were friendly towards each other before the show because he's the only other person there. So then, comedy is this weird thing where you like the person, you hate the person, you don't know them. You're the only two people on the same level at this situation. So you kind of immediately gel towards each other. Hopefully. Sometimes he was the headliner, so he could also have been like, just fuck you, little opener, get out of my way. He did his thing. It wasn't particularly inventive or interesting. Or all I remember is that he ended on this horse fucking joke.
Hell yeah.
Which I was like, what is going on? Audience ate it up. Oh my God. Laughing. They were clapping above their heads. Just that. Loved it.
Yeah, the mini standing O. I can't stand, but my hands are. Woo! You get that horse.
And then, so there I am licking my wounds after failing so badly. And there he is, elated by his grand success. And I think I took the bus there.
Oh, no.
So many things. I didn't have a car. And so, I asked him if I could get a ride back to the city where he was going. And he lived in Queens.
Oh, great.
So we went back to the city. And as we were driving, I said, do you want to have a drink? Post show, let's have a drink. And I already assessed this guy as we were talking. He was not much of a conversationalist. He was super depressed. He had a lot of things that were not going well in his life. He seemed to have no money, no prospects, a lot of failure. We're talking about a lot of failure. Very depressed. And I was like, oh God, this is going to be easy. Right, because I was looking for a way to feel better, but this guy with the success felt so bad. I was like, oh, we're gonna be having sex in no time at all.
I'm gonna make you your night, buddy.
That's right. And he was like pretty good looking. He was good looking enough for me.
He was not a 2. That's all I need.
Yeah, and he was game. He just seemed to be game.
Yeah, great.
So we went for a drink at a bar that I love, actually, that I think is still there, but I probably is too shishi now in Tribeca called Walker's. Walker's is a bar that was just like a regular neighborhood bar. Probably no longer because Tribeca is like fancy. And we did a nice drink. And then, things were just moving in that way. Let me tell you, this guy did not ask me one question about myself.
Ugh.
Yeah, you think that's bad. But where I was coming from, perfect. Perfect.
You don't need to know, buddy.
You don't need to know. I'm just going to keep you talking.
Ophira! You're like trying to incriminate him. Did you hear that? Come on, keep talking.
Exactly.
Keep him talking.
And where were you on the night of September 14th? So, and then it was like time to, move to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say to me the question that I had to grapple with as someone that had never been outside of the borough of Manhattan at that point. He said, would you like to come back to my place in Queens? And I was just so afraid of that because I'd never had a one-night stand outside of Manhattan. So I was like, how do you leave?
Do you have to swim? Do I need floaties?
Is there a boat?
Yeah.
Or like, how do you get a cab?
Your dinghy or mine? I'm sorry. No, I love that. Thank you
That's
so
perfect.
much.
That's
Thank
perfect.
you.
So so we went to his place. He lived in the basement of a Greek family's home. If you know anything about Astoria, Queens, that is a stereotype.
Yes.
I remember he had that, it's like bristly, almost like straw carpeting that you put on outdoor stairs.
Yes.
That was in the stairs inside going down to his apartment. Yeah. Problematic.
Red flag number one.
And then it was a very regular bachelor, I guess. I'm calling it a bachelor pad. Does that even still exist? But I'm just saying he had no roommates.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think, I'm thinking this is like 15 years ago. So that was probably why you lived in Queens. It was so affordable.
Yeah.
No roommates, basement apartment, no decor, zero decor. One framed photo of a sports car, I believe, like a Formula One racer or something, or maybe a Lamborghini. I'm not sure.
Well, he has good taste.
He likes a car.
He likes the car. He likes to go vroom, vroom, fast. Yes. Vroom, vroom, fast. Good guy.
I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh, I want to brush my teeth. And I will say, I should have taken this based on our throw the stuff from the bathroom. He gave me a brand new top to his electric toothbrush.
Wow.
I know. That's a big money item. That's a big, I should have.
Generous.
I know. I should have kept that.
Yeah.
It's like at least $5.95,
You open
right?
up your purse. Here's a bag with just a bunch of shampoos and soaps. This one goes in here. Now we just have to find
gonna
the
write your name
attachment.
on it. What is it again? Mike. Got it. my souvenirs from my captures.
My pretties. Now keep talking.
Andy had a silk flower. There was a silk flower in a vase on a little end table outside of that bathroom that was so out of place. I was just like, I was trying to decide, is there a woman living here?
Yes.
On and off?
Yeah, and she's like, I just need a little something for me.
Right? I was
You
like,
get the race
what
car,
is this?
I get the flower.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? So we're in the kitchen. He had nothing to drink. I was like, let's have another drink. Nothing to drink. I was like,
boy.
I guess we just have to move on.
Yeah.
And then we are making out and we are getting closer and closer to his bedroom. Now, I have a huge scar on my body from a car accident when I was a kid.
Okay.
It's like a trauma scar, which means that you're dying and they rip you open.
Okay.
So whenever I take off my shirt, there's a scar. And so when I was really sleeping around, I kind of had a little prepared speech that I would give right before, because I didn't want it to be,
Of course.
alarming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt like I had to say something.
It's like your opening line. Like if you come in and be like, hey, I'm a chick, it's like you just have to, it's your opening bit. I get it. I totally.
Yeah,
Makes
I
people
mean,
at ease. They understand.
I don't know if other people do this, if they're like, hey, just so you know, I have this and this and this before the clothes come off. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think you did great.
Okay. So I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I have the scar on my body. And he was like, what? And we're making out. He was like, and he did muffle something like, I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And then the door to his bedroom was closed and he was like, would you like to see something special?
Oh, no.
And, when this is, now I think if someone said this to me, I would actually stop in my tracks.
All because
And
of Mike.
take a minute.
Yeah.
But when your whole mode of picking someone up and seeing this process through is basically, for now that we all understand this improv game of yes and, is an exercise of yes and. You're moving action forward,
Yeah.
right? Hey, do you want to go to bar with me? Hey, do you want to drink? Hey, I am like softening you and flattering you and blah, blah, blah to see if we're moving this forward. We're moving this forward. We're moving this forward. Now we're at your place. We're moving this forward, right?
Yes.
And so you're in that momentum. And so I'm in moving forward mode.
Yes.
So it's like, would you like to see something special? Yes. Of course I do. Right?
Show it to me, big boy. Let's go.
Right. And then as the door opens, of course, my brain has the moment of like, what am I dealing with? Do I have to go into protection, flee, freeze, fight mode? Like, what is this not safe? What, like, is it going to be, I don't know, dead body, weapons, a bunk bed. I was worried about a bunk bed. Yeah. Because a lot of people had those adult bunk beds.
Oh boy. They called them loft
Yeah.
beds.
But we know what they are.
Yeah. They're a bunk bed. They're a bunk bed for poor people.
That's right. That's right. That room is not a room.
Yeah.
That's what that says. That was a closet. And then he opened up the door, and his room, I mean, it was not a dead body, and it was not an arsenal of weapons or, I don't know, swastikas or bunk beds. Mm-hmm. There was a bed, but his room, this guy, we kind of spoiled it, but this guy there was Garfields, everybody. There was stuffed Garfields. There was stuffed Garfields. There was those little ceramic Garfields, maybe they're plastic, like in different poses, like golfing Garfield and like the poet Garfield, bonjour, and and like Chef Garfield and all. Tennis Garfield for sure.
Of course. He's got to whack a racket. Come on, Garfield. You seen all that lasagna? He's got to work out. That's right. Oh my God.
And then 3 really good size big ones stuffed that were on his dresser. And then a massive one, like life size one on his bed.
I mean, that is something special.
Yeah.
It's incredibly special.
That's the only word to describe it. So, there I am. I'm here.
I mean,
I've had my vodkas. The Garfields what do you do? So I told him he had to take the 3 off the dresser and the 1 on the bed out of the room. That was my idea of having standards.
Bargaining.
Okay.
I can't handle a life-size Garfield looking at me.
Yeah, I was like, what does he use that for? A little bit,
Those Garfields don't get to see my scar, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Out. Nurble, maybe, but not Garfield. Is that his name, Nurble? I think so.
I don't know. It's just so great. Oh my God.
So then, I think maybe it's a surprise to some that I kept going, but I kept going.
Yeah, the inertia itself. You got to, I see the bed. All right. There's one small obstacle. Very large obstacle.
Well, it's also like, we can work with this. I do remember him talk. I did say to him, why do you have these? Like some version of why do you have these?
Yeah.
And he mentioned that he started collecting them after high school, frankly, a little too late to start that kind of collection. Right?
I'd say so. Yeah. Garfield is very much a 3rd grade type of situation.
You started, and then it kind of blossomed out of control. People just kept giving him more Garfields. And I think he grew up in it was like Boston, but then went to school in another town, and then he moved to Philadelphia, and then he moved here, and then he moved there, and then he moved to Astoria. And I just kept picturing him like packing up the Garfields, move after move. Just like, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, wrapping them up one by one.
A newspaper.
Give a little kiss, puts them back in the box.
Bonjour, au revoir, see you soon.
Was the sex good?
Okay, so the sex. So then it starts happening.
It starts
happening in the sense that we get on the bed.
It's like,
we're making out.
That's not a good sign.
Clothes are coming off. He had still to this day, the largest penis I have ever seen in my entire life.
Well, that's why you felt it was
The
okay to
largest
be with
penis.
the Garfields. He was
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
mean,
packing.
it is-
I don't need to explain myself to anybody.
You know, the idea of big dick energy only came as a succinct phrase recently into
Yeah.
our nomenclature. But it is something that's existed for a while.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, really, I was like, I think he said his name was Odie. I'm not sure, but it was big.
It
was-
winked at you.
Yeah, I was a little scared.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, let's see what happens. It was the worst sex I've ever had in my life. He had no idea what to do with that thing. He had no idea what to do with that thing.
What a shame.
I mean, I remember laying there. He got on top of me and I was like, sure, okay. And he was just pumping away like a jackrabbit.
Oh, no.
Like just eyes closed, eyes squinty closed.
Oh, no.
I don't know what he was picturing.
Garfield. That's what he was picturing.
I know, right. He was lost in a world of endless Mondays.
Yeah.
No Mondays.
This vagina is lasagna. This vagina is lasagna.
No Mondays. Endless lasagna. The fantasy world. And I was just sitting there going like, what is happening? And it was the sobering moment because, okay, listen, I'm talking about one night stands. I'm talking about not being emotional, but there's one thing I don't put up with, which is disconnected sex.
Yes.
You have to have, you can't, that's where it all
Look at
falls
me.
apart.
Look at me.
You have to be, that's what makes it worthwhile. And then you can move on with your lives and treat each other like crap.
Yes.
But you have to be connected in
Yes.
that moment. So it was a complete disconnect. So it made me feel, I just sober right up. It made me feel dread. It made me feel loneliness. It made me feel like, I don't know if you've ever had sex that is so bad, you actually start making resolutions.
Yes.
That's bad when you're like, okay, I'm going to quit smoking. Like I was like, I'm going to scale this back. I'm going to the gym. I got to turn this shit around. Right? It's not too late to turn this shit around.
I still have time.
Still have time. This is not my last. This is not my last
No, I'm
one.
not going out like this. No way. I'm putting in the work. I'm getting it done.
That's right. I won that top shelf Garfield and I'm going home with it and I'm never looking back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I will say he was I did stay over.
Mm-hmm.
He dismounted
Oh God.
eventually.
Well, I bet he was sweaty.
He was sweaty, I believe, and he did say, "Do you want me to do?" And I was like, "No."
Do you want me to?
Like, do you want me to do whatever you need to get off? And I was like, if that's the sex, I'm not going to put up with whatever the oral sex is. No.
He blows on it because it's too hot.
That's right, exactly. Or just some sort of sloppy. I could not take it. No. So I said, no, that's fine. No, sir.
No.
I'm
Thank
good.
you so much. Usually people ask that before.
Yeah,
they
that would be
finish.
nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice. And I don't know. How about I go first?
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I mean,
Maybe he was still getting used to his length.
I mean,
I know. He knew.
he was a grown man.
He was a grown man.
He's a grown man. You have that thing since you were like 15. Like you've had it he had it for a decade and a half.
It was a monster.
Oh, Jesus.
Long
and skinny or thick?
It wasn't super thick, but it wasn't skinny. So it was long and it had some, to borrow a word that I love from your act, girth.
Thank you so much.
It's one of my favorite. Every time you
Thank
say
you.
girth, I'm like, that is one of the best words. It's so evocative in so many ways. And then the next day he drove me home.
Oh, that's nice. You got a free ride out of
I
it.
did get a free.
That's pretty good. I mean, honestly, you don't have to take a paddle boat.
Did not have to get on a ship.
Yeah.
I did not have to wash down the decks just to get back to the Lower East Side.
When he dropped you off, he was like, "Don't tell anyone about the Garfields."
Yeah, he did not speak of it, and I do believe that he did end up. We've had no contact.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember he may have read the story. What version? I mean, I tell it a little bit of a different way in the book, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a memoir, but it doesn't have to be fact check. You know, the essence. The essence
It's
is
my art.
But I think he knew who he was. And as I mentioned to someone, I was like, "Do you think this person would be offended by this story. And it was a guy I asked this to, and he went, no, you said he had a big dick.
Yeah.
That is all he's going to read.
It's 100% true. Yes. The amount of shit I talk about Steve, my boyfriend, I say, so he's a little bitch, he's this, he's that. And he's like, but he's got a big dick. And I was like, great. And they come up to me, short guys always have the biggest dicks. Mom, mom. That's the only thing people take away. They're not like, she's being a real monster to us, someone she loves. They're like, oh, she's so generous.
Right.
Telling everybody about his big old dick.
Yeah. So I feel like all I did was give that guy some great marketing.
Yeah. Honestly, he got out of the
Wonderful
game.
market.
He found a wife. She was like, I love Garfield too.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Right. She brought her, she was like, I collect Snow White or whatever. And they can both just
I love Boondocks.
Yeah, that would be it, right? Boondocks.
Oh God.
So,
well, let's talk. What time is it? Oh wow. Good job.
nice.
Well, so you're from Canada. We literally usually start with like,
sorry.
where are you from? What you doing? And you're from Canada. Okay, let's just jump right to, are there any drunk stories that we should know about you that really encompass who you are?
I have a good one.
Yeah?
That was it.
That was it. That was great. I mean, it was so good.
I mean, many stories are drunk. I've been drunk doing jobs as a moving statue. I say jobs. It was just one. If you don't know how to do that job, you just do it once.
A moving statue?
You know, where you stand and then you put your arms in a pose in a costume and then you have to hold that by accident at a corporate gig that I misunderstood the booking.
And you were drunk?
So you can't do that sober.
Oh, no.
I mean, I was just so freaked out. I had like a couple shots and then did it. And let me tell you, alcohol does not help you stay still.
No. You may as well just done a bunch of cocaine right beforehand. Why can't, you want to hear my business plan?
And then there was a time I was playing at a club in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Where I went home with the bar back. Okay. We got really drunk, but he wasn't drinking. And so he was doing gravity bongs with like a, like a 2 liter of Coke with the bottom cut out and a bucket.
It was a DIY gravity bong?
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, and he put on the television the drum cam from a Devo concert.
And you were like, at least it's not Garfield.
And I got really, so I was already drunk and then I got really high. I got way too high and I was like, you have to take me home. And then he went to the bathroom and he was there for a while. And I actually thought like he was brushing his teeth or whatever because he thought we were going to make out while he drove me back to the hotel. And so we got in the car and we're driving. And I had this whole thing. I was so high and so drunk. And I was like, I don't remember this guy's name. And then we got pulled over by the cops. I was still illegal in America. And so I was a little freaked out about that. And we got pulled over by the cops. And he was like, this again. And I was like, this again? And then he rolled down the window and the cop was like, Dave, nice to see you tonight. And I was like, his name's Dave. And then I was like, wait a second. Why do they know his name? Yeah. And then they took him away, and I went to flee. I went to flee. I just opened the door and started running. But then a cop like yelled at me, and I came back. And then they searched me, and I was like, "I'm a comic at the club, and I don't know what I'm doing." And and they were just like, "You're okay. Just sit down." And then they asked me how I knew this guy, and I was like, "Oh, he just works at the comedy club, and I don't know. He seemed nice. We were hanging out." And then he came back to the car and he was like, they don't have anything on me. I just have a busted taillight. And I was like, all right. And he's like, yeah, so I'll drive you to the hotel. And then as soon as he started driving, he was like, but I was so fucked up before we left. So I did a little crystal meth and I'm so glad I did because I was able to drive. And I was like, what? And there's a few times in my life where I'm like, I am out of my depths. Now I'm out of my depths. I like my vodka straight. I don't mind a little weed. But like now, crystal meth is just too much for me. Yeah. Okay?
If I don't know how to get it, I don't think I want to be with anyone doing it.
And so then we got to my hotel and he was like, can I come up? And I was like, no. It was one of the few times in my drunken escapades that I was like, I drew a line.
Good for you.
I found my line.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You deserve more than crystal meth.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
right.
wild. That's wild that someone's like, oh, don't worry, I did a little crystal meth.
What? I mean,
I'm gonna get you home
I've
safe
never
and
heard that
sound.
makes you a better driver.
No, I've never heard that it has done anything but ruin your life.
Yeah, and I learned a big important lesson there to any aspiring comics.
Mhm.
Don't do like when you're booked Tuesday through Sunday. Don't pull shit like that on a Tuesday because you got a long week ahead of you
Yeah.
at the place where the barback works. And it's not, you know what happens at comedy clubs? They all talk.
Yeah.
They all talk.
Did you ever work that club again?
I've never worked that club again, but I also I've never tried.
Okay.
Yeah, because just things changed in my life, and the booker that they had there left, as it happens very often, and I never pursued it again.
Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when they're like, crystal meth, I'll get you home. It's like, what are they doing when they're not going home, you know?
But I know the fact that thinking about it now. That guy's house too was so. Other than that Devo, the drum cam from a Devo concert. I do remember at one point after like a couple Gravity Bong hits, he took out drumsticks and was like going along, and I was like, "Am I even here?
Yeah.
Do I need to be here?"
He was playing pretend to be the Devo drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just sad.
I know.
Now.
And I went to get water from the fridge, which was a mistake, and there was nothing in the fridge. It
Oh my
was
God.
just packets of like condiment packets. There was nothing, just condiment packets. Chilling. How did I not get murdered that night? I'll tell you how.
Honestly, I think you ran away from the cops just to be like, I'm here. Someone find me.
Notice me.
Yes.
Notice me.
See my face. If I go missing, you know I was in this car.
Someone else told me that they went on a first Tinder date where the person suggested that they army crawl into some cave adventure, and they agreed to do it, but they stashed their driver's license in a rock outside the cave just in case.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like, what?
Just say no.
Just go to a bar. Just go to a weird bar. I don't know.
First date, army crawl into a cave.
Uh-huh.
You're asking to get murdered. That's like, I'm like, please, I hate my life. Just end me now. I'm so tired. It was probably one of those 8 women who were like, dating sucks.
I don't know.
in New York.
I'll
do anything at this
right,
point.
That's right. An adventure, an experience, unless they met on like Splunking Singles. Like, I don't know. Any reason to get splunking in a podcast.
Well, Ophira, this was fantastic.
Thanks,
This
Kayla.
was so much
I
fun.
know.
Where can people find you?
Oh, where can you find me? The only place you need to find me is I'm at Ophira on Venmo,
Okay, great. That's all you need.
and the rest I'm at Ophira E on everything else.
Yes,
At
very good.
Ophira E.
Very fun follow, I would say.
Oh, thanks back
Yes.
at you.
Oh, we have fun.
Don't we have fun?
Don't we have fun?
We have
And you
fun.
should also read her book. Her book is very funny.
Oh, thanks.
Sleeping Your Way to Monogamy.
It's called Screw Everyone. Sleeping My Way to Monogamy.
It's very funny. They teach it in classes. It's very good. Thank you,
To have
Ophira.
that reach a literary level is definitely. And part of me is like, what creative writing class were you taking?
It was a comedy writing class.
Okay, well,
it
that
was
makes me
like
feel happy.
comedic writing.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I love knowing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Why wasn't I paid? Anyhow,
I know.
No, it's
it was sheets. Yeah, someone literally like put your
Xeroxed
face
it?
down. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It would be great if the other side was my ass.
Yeah.
Next time, dreams, everybody, dreams.
Oh, Ophira Eisenberg, everyone.